Yo, it's your boy Devon Lesesne, and we back with another 10-minute drill. Today we're going to be talking about a black lady who got her friend, white friend, to stand in as she got her house reappraised for the third time. And we're going to see just how different the value of a white body is. But before we get into it, we're going to go ahead. Can y'all hit the like button for me? Can y'all hit the share button for me? And if you have a comment while we're getting through the show, leave a comment too. And so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it because I don't want to waste your time. We're going to make sure we get this under 10 minutes because I know sometimes we be going over the mark, but your boy be having to just go in and give you what you want, give you what you need. Because a lot of these conversations are a little bit more deeper than what we would like to think and believe. So, without further ado, this is going to be from USA Today. Charlotte Duffy, she felt both vindicated and excited because what had happened was she went and she got her house appraised at $110,000 and then at $125,000 respectively. This is the same house. She bought the house for, I believe, $100,000. And then what she did was she went and she got her white friend to come in and stand in for her. And they switched out some of the photos. They allowed, certain things to be swapped in and around the house, just, to make it a little bit more believable. But essentially, the takeaway was she did it. And two, like she said, being vindicated, she knew it was because of her race. And here in America, everybody says, oh, well, it's just Donald Trump. And we acting like race don't exist. You got Kamala Harris, you got Jim Clyburn, you got Tim Scott. Everybody's saying race don't exist no more. Everybody just coming out saying anything. Joe Biden also on the train. Oh, it's not that, it's not this. But we see from this article that, yes, race, in fact, does still exist. So, look, guess how much the house was valued, though, at when she did it for the third time? I bet you can't guess. Bet you can't. It was a whopping $259,000. So it doubled just off of the fact of a white body, right? And so, of course, she is filing complaints. And of course, she is suing based on racial discrimination, which she should, and she should definitely win and have no issues with it because it's a clear-cut case. But I wanted to get into some things real quick because a lot of people have a lot of different solutions as it relates to how we get out of these circumstances as it pertains to race in America. First, this is why gentrifying your own neighborhood cannot work, because Black, as it relates to the racial construct, depreciates assets. I'm not telling anybody not to get out here and work as hard as you possibly can and do what you have to do and what is necessary to overcome all of these different circumstances. But what I am saying is that at the very same time that we are working, as we discussed in 2 videos back, which I should go check out, when we were talking about it being required to do politics to be able to maintain your wealth. This is an example of that because you need policies in place to penalize and keep people from raping you economically. Because yes, you can accumulate. Yes, you can do all of these different things. But as we see in the past as a barometer, when we talk about African Americans specifically, we see our group be affected by predatory bank lending. We see our group affected by, as a result, redlining, which this is a result also of. And then, again, you have the issue with your identity because the way race was created at its inaugural state was to depreciate assets, not because you have to look a certain way or you have to act a certain way or be ghetto or be ratchet. It's just how these things work. You have to understand that basically, when you talk about a group of Black people moving into a concentrated area, you have to understand that the reason why those actual things become devalued just merely has to do everything with redlining that has not been reversed and recorrected. So as a result, we have people and systems and institutions that automatically kick in and say, you know what? This group of people here, inner city, urban, no. That automatically, again, depreciates the value. And then when you have a group who's been systemically gutted, when you talk about the wealth and access to labor, those things only become and be reinforced when you talk about not being able to accumulate and hold on to the wealth. So you get white flight, which is basically when you talk about covenants and, Fair Labor Act and all of those different, not Fair Labor Act, Fair Housing Act and all of those different things. You have people, and still to this day is practice, they will move out because, again, they understand that economically, they don't necessarily have to be racist, but they understand that you depreciate the asset. And so with that being said, I want us to be very careful about how we think we're going to get out of these things, because this is just one more instance that proves that it's not about individual racism. It's not even so much about people being outright racist. It has a lot to do with money and how the infrastructure of capitalism in America specifically, is attached to whiteness and blackness and how whiteness and blackness move. What we have to talk about is, again, the brand that whiteness and blackness is when you talk about race just being a business model and those two things being just actual products. Because see, when you talk about whiteness lends credibility. So let's say, for example, when you talk about a doctor or a lawyer or attorney, I said lawyer or attorney, those both the same things. But when you talk about having a white body in that industry, you have Black people who will say things like, oh yeah, no, I want my attorney to be white because, again, what does that mean? That means that they have more access to the infrastructure of the legal apparatus. They have probably a larger network. They have more sway because of their whiteness. And so when you talk about the different brands, again, we as Black people have to overcome stigma. White people merely just have to maintain and live up to. Yes, they both have their pros and cons, because I know the what about warriors are going to come and get me. The whole, well, what about this and what about that? Yes, they both have their set of pros and cons. But when you talk about business and when you talk about advantages and when you talk about being able to leverage your identity in a favorable manner, absolutely, yes, I would prefer the former in having white skin because, as we know, even when it comes to banking, again, these things have been reported, these things have been documented. You can have the same numbers in your bank, you can have the same pedigree in terms of work history, in terms of credentials. And guess what? You will get better interest rates on your loans. You will get more per capita just based on your whiteness alone. So again, you have to understand these things as brands, and you have to understand these things as a business. Race is business. Racial discourse is business, which is why America really doesn't want to address it, because addressing it means that we will have to get away from it, because we would then acknowledge that, yes, it's a false construct, but in it being a false construct, it has very real life, tangible implications. And again, this is not to say don't do what you're supposed to. Get up, work hard every day. I am going to live and stand by that. I do that and I try to do that myself. But what I am saying, though, is let's be smart about it. Let's be very strategic about it. Let's think about all of the components in how these different institutions are moving with one another to either undermine or add value to a particular thing. So, with that being said, man, I just wanted to come and holler at y'all real quick because, again, everybody out here, your boy, Mr. Clyburn, your girl, Ski Wee Harris, your boy, Joe, your man, Tim Scott, along with many other people who want to just, sit around and act like race don't exist and act like race doesn't have real life implications. Here's another one. Woman, African-American, swaps out, white body, double the appraisal rate. If that's systemic racism, I don't know what is. But y'all tell me what you think. Do racism exist? No. Is Kamala Harris and them right? Am I wrong? Am I doing too much? Because again, they be like, oh, you're radical. Oh my God, you keep talking about race. I'll catch y'all again on another day, on another 10-minute drill. And before y'all head out, hit that like button, hit the share button, leave a comment, subscribe, please. Help your boy get the subscribers up so we can get these things moving. But y'all enjoy, be safe, have a great day. Thank you.